come and take their place. I will leave them to introduce themselves, and I will give any changes I can confirm to the judge's judgment.
Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Madoc and I'm the chairman of the Clare's Court Public Speaking Team. On my right, I have my fellow Year 7, Charlie Gowden, our team's main speaker. And on my left, in Year 8, we have Ollie who is our voting finalist. I've known Charlie for about 6 months, and in that time, I've made repeated attempts to find out where his parents and his girlfriends went from Charlie. Know that Charlie is an intelligent, witty, and caring young man, and this evening he's going to give you a fine speech. Our topic is going to be whether police should carry guns or not, and Charlie is qualified to speak about this as he is a member of the public. We also believe that Charlie is trying to protect us from the violence of guns, so I'm very interested to hear what he has to say. They've all been made aware through the headmasters' assemblies and snippets of news before we turn over to watch The Simpsons. So there have been numerous incidents of gun crime which have affected children of our age. So we wanted to make this the topic of our presentation. We understand that it is a serious topic that needs to be talked about. Now, without further ado, I present our main speaker, Charlie Gowden.
Thank you, Madoc. As Madoc said, my name is Charlie Gowden, and I'm the main speaker for the Clare's Court Junior team. What I'm going to discuss today is something that is really important to the whole of the United Kingdom. After the deaths of the 2 police constables, Nicola Hughes and Fiona Byrne, who were shot and murdered on September the 18th last year, police have been discussing whether or not they should or should not have guns. It is unlikely that the police will ever have guns, but why? If the 2 police constables were armed with firearms, would they have a chance of survival? In this speech, I'm going to discuss the reasons for and against this argument. I'll start off with a story I heard a couple of years ago on the news. It's the sad tale of David Rathban. David was a police constable, much like Nicola and Fiona, and one day he was driving. A crazed gunman called Raoul Moat shot him in the face. Sickeningly, he in fact taunted the police and told them what he intended to do not 12 minutes before he committed the atrocity. David survived, but was left behind a son development that shot him to the core. The son development which eventually led him to taking his own life. This was a result of guns. Another example of guns being used in a legal way is that of Arnold Breivik, one of the biggest mass murderers in recent history. This man killed, with no provocation, 67 people in Utoya Island, posing as a police officer. Oslo's laws say that police aren't allowed to be armed while travelling on foot, but this obviously stopped no one. By the time the police arrived, the 67 people were dead. Many people agree with the idea that guns are an evil thing. President Obama of the United States is trying to enforce gun control laws to protect the people of America. But the Second Amendment to the US Constitution says that police forces are allowed to carry firearms and, unfortunately, the rest of the American population. The Second Amendment states that the people of the United States have a right to keep and bear arms. Many Americans and American groups, one example being the National Rifle Association, think that this is the most important part of their constitution. And in theory, it has a very good motive. At the time this amendment was added to the Bill of Rights, the USA did not have a very professional police force. Therefore, this amendment was added amendment meant that people could use guns as self-defense to protect their family and property from attack, without fear or prosecution. However, as long as there are people like Brown Mose and Armors Brave in the world, this originally noble law will continue to be flowered. The United Kingdom does not have such relaxed laws. Citizens are not allowed to carry guns outside their own home. If they are caught with guns in public, they are arrested without question. Is this the reason why there are less gun deaths in this country? Indeed, there is only one gun death per 400,000 people, as opposed to 40.8 per 400,000 in the US. However, like all serious topics, some people try to make a light of things. For example, to quote Robin Williams' Police of the World, LA police would say, "Stop or shoot!" California police, "Stop or shoot!" And of course, the London police, "Stop!" Whilst they stop again. Britain is a country where if you commit a crime, the police don't have a gun, so the criminal has an easier job of getting away. Guns are good at enforcing law and telling people not to try anything funny or I'll kill you. And about 2.5 million crimes a year in the US are stopped with guns. So are guns really that bad? I say yes and no. Yes for the fact that it's a murder weapon, and no for the fact that it stops crime. But the biggest question is, are guns really the way to prevent crime? This debate about guns might go on for years and may never truly be resolved. Everyone has their own view on guns, and I myself think police shouldn't own guns, or anyone. Guns were made with one sole purpose, to kill. Some people think guns are creating peace, but how are guns creating peace if they are meant to be a murder weapon? Do we want to be a world at war forever? Or can we change our ways to create a more peaceful future? Thank you for listening, ladies and gentlemen.
I now ask Mr. Blacker to put his question to Charlie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
Thank you for the quite extraordinary span of what we're talking about, even in America. Could I just ask you a little bit about that? Because obviously the whole debate, not just in the States, but universally, is being affected by what's happening in the States and the Second Amendment and the rest. Do you think we can resist this pressure? And you clearly think we should, we shall be able to. Is this going to be exported from there, as many things are over here?
Well, thank you for the question. I think we could resist the urge to not use guns, but it would take a while probably. Guns as it's a murder weapon is, well, they're extremely bad and no one should have invented them in the first place.
Thank you very much, Charlie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand you over to Ollie Moore, who will deliver our vote of thanks.
Thank you, Charlie, for that speech. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honour to be the vote of thanks. Charlie was really impressed me with his research and delivery. His quotes, statistics, facts, and shocking but true stories. My favourite quotes were the ones by Robin Williams in a comedy speech. Now, even though I know this part was meant as comedy, Charlie has encouraged us to think about police and guns as a serious topic. We laugh because it is true, but do we also laugh because if we didn't, we would cry? Charlie also mentioned lots of statistics, like the amount of guns in the United States. There are 300 million guns in the USA, and only 310 million people living there. It's ridiculous. That's nearly 97% of the population. The amount of devastation guns have caused, mentioned in Charlie's speech, is shocking and astounding, and I totally agree with Charlie. Guns never should have been made in the first place. I understand that we cannot uninvent the gun, but would we be making a bad situation better by arming the police in Britain? I agree with Charlie that this is not the answer, and I thank him for dealing with the topic the way he has. I hope that Charlie's speech has inspired you as much as it has inspired me. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in thanking Charlie Gowan.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes our presentation.
We're now going to give the judges in between each of the presentations 3 to 5 minutes. They don't have to have lights, but we have to wait for them to collect their evidence so that they can discuss it properly at the end.